we already have a very vibrant ecosystem of self-help groups which has been created across the country. And this vibrant ecosystem covers more than 100 million women, organized into nearly around 10 million SHGs. And this ecosystem can be the platform which Government of India could use to create more socio-economic empowerment of rural women. The access to credit and access to market are the two elements which is uh, constraining the rural women to have larger enterprises. And also, when we talk about access to market, there is a need to help these women to get onto the newer platforms, the e-commerce platforms, the platforms where women uh, are given training and capacity building so that they can take their product and services to this platform. I feel if you look at the way the rural consumption demand has increased in last few years, and it is expected to double by 2030, it would mean that most of the private companies would be looking at creating more processing units, suppliers, closer to the consumption centers. And that would mean that they would like to shorten the supply chain. And while they try to shorten the supply chain, it's also an opportunity for many of these marginalized communities, rural enterprises, to become embedded into the supply chain of a larger corporate. We have seen in past 2 or 3 decades near 100% universal enrollment. However, still, if you look at higher secondary, there is a huge dropout, and that dropout is close to around 15 to 20% of people drop out at secondary and higher secondary. And if we disaggregate this data, we find that women uh, children from marginalized societies, economically weaker sections, are the more proportion when it comes to the number of people who drop out at that level. There is a need within the school education system to have a vocational education embedded into the curriculum. And if I talk about the higher education again, the higher education has, I would say, has become really expensive for many of the even middle class students to access. And that's where that equity of access can be created by creating a pool of fund or a scholarships which is there for the needy student so that they can actually get into it. The second investment definitely has to be in health sector. In India, we unfortunately have one of the largest out-of-pocket expenses, which has been taken care of by some of the programs which has been implemented in past, like PMJY. But there is a need for universal health coverage because that universal health coverage is what which would prevent many families moving into a poverty because of any specific kind of health incident happening in that family. The last one which I spoke, it is essentially the creation of job is something where the union government has been actually looking at various measures over last few years. And that's where I think there is a need to put thought into in terms of by the policymakers and the think tanks to see that how we can actually create an inclusive growth environment where there is more jobs created and there is an equal opportunity there for even the socially marginalized communities and also economic weaker sections to access these kind of jobs and have a sustainable career. Please join our budget webinar on 1st February, 4 to 5 p.m., which is going to be streamed in our website and LinkedIn.